Did you know that The Sopranos almost didn't happen because HBO executives couldn't understand why anyone would want to watch a show about a depressed mob boss? This reluctance seems absurd now, considering the series revolutionized television and created the blueprint for every anti-hero drama that followed. From 1999 to that infamous cut to black in 2007, The Sopranos gave us 86 episodes of the most psychologically complex character study ever put on screen. What started as a simple premise about a New Jersey mob boss having panic attacks became an epic meditation on the American dream, family dysfunction, and whether people can truly change. Season 1, 1999. The story begins with Tony Soprano, a New Jersey mob captain, collapsing in his driveway after watching a family of ducks leave his pool. These panic attacks force him into therapy with Dr. Jennifer Melfi, a decision that would horrify his traditional mob associates if they knew. Tony lives a double life, running legitimate businesses like the Beta Bing strip club while managing less savory operations involving loan sharking, gambling, and occasional violence. At home, Tony plays the devoted father to college-bound Meadow and troubled teenager AJ, while his wife Carmela maintains their upper-middle-class facade despite knowing exactly how their lifestyle is funded. The family dynamics mirror Tony's professional world, where loyalty and betrayal dance together in deadly harmony. When acting boss Jackie April dies of cancer, a power struggle erupts between Tony and his uncle Junior. Despite Junior's seniority, Tony has the respect of the younger soldiers and the backing of key players like his nephew Christopher, the loyal Silvio, and the unpredictable Paulie Walnuts. The tension escalates when Junior, feeling disrespected and marginalized, plots to have Tony killed. The assassination attempt fails spectacularly, and Tony emerges as the new acting boss of the daimyo crime family. But victory comes with a price. The weight of leadership, combined with his psychological struggles, sets the stage for 6 seasons of internal and external warfare. As Tony tells Dr. Melfi, he came in at the end of something. The golden age of the American mob was over, but the violence and family obligations remained. Season 2, 2000. Just as Tony settles into his role as boss, a ghost from the past returns to haunt him. Richie April, Jackie's volatile brother, gets released from prison after 10 years and immediately begins challenging Tony's authority. Richie represents the old-school mentality, believing respect should be earned through fear and brutality, not the more diplomatic approach Tony prefers. Meanwhile, Tony's manipulative sister Janice returns to New Jersey after years of drifting, ostensibly to care for their aging mother Livia. But Janice has her own agenda, quickly seducing the dangerous Richie and encouraging his rebellion against Tony. The combination of Richie's volatile nature and Janice's scheming creates a powder keg that threatens to explode Tony's carefully maintained order. The season's most shocking moment comes when 2 young associates, Matthew Bevilacqua and Sean Gismonte, attempt to kill Christopher in a misguided bid to impress Richie. The botched hit leaves Christopher wounded, and the 2 wannabe gangsters marked for death. Tony personally executes Matthew, showing the cold brutality beneath his suburban family man exterior. In therapy, Tony's relationship with Dr. Melfi deepens as he grapples with his mother's manipulative nature and his complicated feelings about leadership. Their sessions reveal Tony's intelligence and vulnerability, making him more than just another TV mobster. The season climaxes when Richie's escalating behavior finally pushes Janice too far. In a moment of rage, she shoots and kills him, then calls Tony to clean up the mess. As Tony and Christopher dispose of Richie's body, We see how family loyalty trumps everything else in Tony's world, even when family members are clearly dangerous psychopaths. Season 3. The arrival of Ralph Cifaretto brings a new kind of chaos to Tony's world. Ralph is a high earner, but also a sadistic loose cannon who burns down a stable for insurance money, killing a beloved racehorse in the process. His brutal murder of stripper Tracy outside the Bada Bing forces Tony to confront the ugliness of his business, especially when he realizes he cares more about the dead horse than most of his associates care about the dead girl. The season's emotional core revolves around Jackie April Jr., the son of Tony's deceased friend, who becomes involved with Meadow while falling deeper into mob life. Despite Tony's attempts to steer him away from the family business, Jackie Jr. craves the respect and easy money that comes with being connected. His relationship with Meadow puts Tony in an impossible position, watching his daughter date someone he knows is doomed. Tony's therapy sessions with Dr. Melfi become increasingly complex as he develops romantic feelings for her. Their relationship blurs professional boundaries, with Tony bringing her gifts and Dr. Melfi struggling to maintain clinical distance from such a compelling patient. The tension reaches a breaking point when Tony's attraction becomes undeniable, forcing them both to confront what their relationship really means. The season builds toward tragedy as Jackie Jr.'s desperation leads him to rob one of Tony's card games. The botched robbery results in violence, and Tony faces an agonizing decision. He can't let the slight go unpunished, but Jackie Jr. is both his friend's son and his daughter's boyfriend. The season ends with Jackie Jr.'s inevitable execution, carried out by Vito Spatafore on Tony's orders. Tony's grief over his failure to save the boy reveals the human cost of his world, where even good intentions can't overcome the brutal logic of mob justice. Season 4. The arrival of Furio Giunta from Naples injects new energy into Tony's crew, but also plants the seeds of personal destruction. Furio is everything Tony admires, a true old-world gangster with honor and style. But his growing attraction to Carmela creates a dangerous love triangle that threatens to destroy everything Tony has built. This season marks the beginning of the end for Tony and Carmela's marriage. Years of willful ignorance about Tony's business finally catch up with Carmela, as she can no longer pretend their wealth comes from legitimate sources. Her sessions with a psychiatrist force her to confront the moral compromise of her lifestyle, while Tony's therapy with Dr. Melfi reveals his deep-seated need for control and approval. Christopher's heroin addiction spirals out of control, forcing Tony to play father figure to his increasingly unreliable nephew. The addiction storyline showcases the show's unflinching look at self-destruction, as Christopher's talent and potential are slowly consumed by his demons. Tony's attempts to help reveal both his genuine care and his ultimate inability to save people from themselves. The season's most devastating subplot involves Furio's unrequited love for Carmela. Their connection is deep and genuine, everything Tony and Carmela's relationship isn't, but the mob code makes it impossible. Furio's internal struggle between desire and loyalty creates some of the series' most poignant moments, as two people who could be perfect together are kept apart by Tony's world. The tension explodes when Furio nearly pushes Tony into helicopter blades during a trip to their beach house. Realizing he's crossed a line he can't uncross, Furio flees to Italy, leaving Carmela heartbroken and Tony suspicious. The season ends with Tony's world closing in, his marriage crumbling, and his most trusted soldier gone forever. Season 5. The inevitable finally happens. Tony and Carmela separate, and for the first time in the series, we see what these characters are like when stripped of their familiar dynamics. Carmela discovers a strength she didn't know she possessed, attempting to build a legitimate life, while Tony spirals into loneliness and depression, bouncing between meaningless affairs and desperate attempts to win her back. The season's central chaos comes from Tony Blundetto, Tony's cousin fresh out of prison after 20 years. Steve Buscemi brings a quiet menace to Tony B, a man whose intelligence was wasted by bad choices and worse timing. While Tony tries to help his cousin go straight with the massage therapy business, old resentments and new opportunities pull Tony B back into the life he promised to leave behind. Meanwhile, the kids are growing up and growing apart from their parents' world. AJ sinks deeper into depression and apathy, while Meadow's activism puts her increasingly at odds with her father's values. Their storylines reflect the generational divide, showing how Tony's children might escape the cycles that trapped him, but only by rejecting everything he represents. The season's powder keg involves the escalating feud between New Jersey and New York families. When Tony B kills Billy Leotardo in a moment of rage, he ignites a war that threatens to destroy both families. Phil Leotardo, Billy's older brother, demands blood for blood, putting Tony in an impossible position between family loyalty and business survival. Season 6. The unthinkable happens when Uncle Junior, lost in dementia, shoots Tony in his own home, mistaking him for an old enemy. The shooting plunges Tony into a coma, triggering surreal dream sequences where he becomes Kevin Finnerty, a traveling salesman in a purgatorial limbo. These fever dreams reveal Tony's deepest fears about identity, family, and what comes after death. While Tony fights for his life, the family unites in crisis. Carmela, AJ, and Meadow maintain vigil, showing genuine love beneath years of dysfunction. The crew struggles without their leader, with Silvio stepping up as acting boss, while everyone waits to see if Tony will survive. When he finally awakens, Tony seems changed, speaking about second chances and the preciousness of life. Season 6, B. But people don't really change, and the final 9 episodes prove it. Phil Leotardo, now boss of New York, declares war on New Jersey, turning personal slights into a fight for survival. The bodies pile up as Phil systematically dismantles Tony's organization, killing Bobby Bacala and Silvio in brutal fashion. As the walls close in, Tony's family reaches breaking points. AJ attempts suicide, unable to cope with the world's darkness, while Meadow chooses law school, perhaps to defend her father's world. Tony's final therapy sessions with Dr. Melfi end when she realizes he's been using their relationship to become a better criminal, not a better person. The war climaxes with Phil's death, but victory feels hollow. In the series finale, Tony sits in Holston's diner with his family, paranoid and constantly looking over his shoulder. The tension builds as suspicious characters enter the restaurant. Journey's Don't Stop Believin' plays. And then, cut to black. That abrupt ending sparked years of debate, but it perfectly captured Tony's reality. He got everything he wanted: power, money, family, but he'll never have peace. The Sopranos asked whether people can change, and the answer was devastatingly simple. Some people are exactly who they are, and that's the real tragedy. The Sopranos didn't just change television, it changed how we think about storytelling itself. From panic attacks to that final cut to black, it proved that audiences were hungry for complex, morally ambiguous characters. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Tony's world, hit subscribe for more legendary TV breakdowns.